This week on Jabba's Court, we have a very interesting question, I think. We're 10 years on from the Force Awakens teaser trailer debut, and I'm asking the question, how does the first film in the sequel trilogy hold up? But maybe perhaps before we discuss the answer to that question, should we have a little look at the teaser trailer that dropped 10 years ago this week?
Yeah.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it? The dark side. And the light.
So, Paul,
Yeah,
first of all, the trailer. It was a great trailer.
it was. It didn't tell you too much. It told you enough to get you sort of like really hyped up for it. I just can't believe it's 10 years ago since we saw that trailer. That is scary. Time really does it does exist in its own sort of weird way these days. Um, but yeah, I mean
Does it
straight away.
does it hold up as a film?
As a film, I love The Force Awakens and unashamedly love The Force Awakens. I think it's a great film. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's sort of been seen before in Star Wars, but I felt that it was a real strong entry. I know. I know. Just imagine when we're discussing the next one, Mark. But no, I felt it was a strong film. I thought that Daisy did a really good job in The Force Awakens. Not so good in the next two, but I put that down to script, not her acting ability. I thought she acted the socks off in this film, and other than Harrison Ford, really held the film together. It was great to see Han and Chewie again. Not so good to see Han meet his untimely end. Um, Spoiler alert. And it was good to see the R2 unit morph into something a bit different with BB-8. The one thing I didn't like about it was the lack of R2 and 3PO in it. I would have liked to have seen more of them. And the one amazing thing that they completely missed was the opportunity to have the original three together in a scene. That was a huge miss and a mistake. Because sadly, of course, we lost Carrie Fisher not soon after, and therefore it was never going to happen. So yeah, for dropping the ball on that one, I can only give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the handling of all the original trilogy actors, whether it was the droids, whether it was the three, whether it was Lando, who wasn't
Mm,
even considered to be in
yeah.
the film,
Oh,
appalling across the
mm,
whole trilogy, just
yeah.
appalling. And I think that's what's alienated so much of the fan base. It's like there wasn't a proper passing of the torch to a new generation. It just felt like um, we're throwing these on the bonfire kind of thing. It would just the whole handling of it was just poorly done, I thought. Um, and even if you don't think it was poorly done, you have to kind of admit, I think everyone has to admit that the expectations were badly handled at the very minimum in terms of if you weren't going to use them, you should have um, promoted it differently, because the way that they promoted it with Mark Hamill made you think that Mark Hamill was going to be a big thing of this, and they almost played on the fact that we're going to squeeze him in just a tiny bit at the end and have everyone think opposite of that. So I was kind of disappointed with the way they handled them. But just watching that teaser trailer now made me think of something that I've probably never thought of before. And
Yeah.
in that teaser trailer, without even seeing him, Snoke felt like an incredibly ominous and powerful villain.
Mm.
And they completely dropped the ball with that character as well across the trilogy.
Yeah.
And he just became maligned and sidelined and killed off, and then become almost a bit of dirt on Palpatine's shoe in the last film. It's kind of um, very weird, where in that teaser trailer he's so prominent and the voice sounds incredible, and you just think we're going to have a fantastic new villain here, and it just never materialized.
I mean, with that gold gown, he looked like sort of like an even more decrepit Hugh Hefner, didn't he? Let's be honest. That's
Yeah,
what he basically looked like, or at the very best, Gold Member from Austin Powers.
yeah,
It just didn't work. The whole costume idea didn't work. And yeah, you're right. From the trailers, I think we were all thinking this is going to be somebody that's even more sinister than Palpatine, and in the end, really poorly used.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw Mr. Newball's comment up here again. Star Trek Picard showed how your reunions are meant to be done. That was magnificent and meaningful. The guy just can't shut up about Star Trek.
He can't, can he?
No,
No.
just any opportunity, he just drops the name in there. You know what?
Let it lie,
Come
Mark.
on,
Let it lie.
get Star Trek and do their own promotion and content. Stop trying to introduce it into Star Wars. Just to piggyback on the back of us. It's like shocking. But yeah, I think as a film, The Force Awakens, it was a little bit too much fan service, which is an easy criticism to give it. It kind of feels like whoever did it would probably get that criticism,
Mm,
because they're going to try and have so many moments that emulate the original trilogy a bit. Obviously, they went in the complete opposite way with The Last Jedi, and then with The Rise of Skywalker, tried to course correct, and it just felt like it just made the whole trilogy fail in my eyes, because it just felt like they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they wanted the story to be or what direction they wanted to go. And I just think, why start a story if you don't know the middle and the
yeah,
end?
it's gonna
It's
end.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think one thing that I definitely would have changed had I been involved in the process. They didn't call me. They haven't called me yet. Would have been. I felt it was a little bit off to carry on having TIE fighters and X-wings. I would have
mhm.
developed different ships
Yeah,
so that there's something significant,
yeah.
particularly for that.
If you compare it to the prequel trilogy, how much they made the prequel trilogy visually
Yeah.
different from the original trilogy, they just didn't do that with the sequel trilogy.
No, not anywhere near enough. I mean, obviously the Falcon, we wanted to see that again, and the Falcon, that's fine. And they tinkered with it a little bit just so they could sell more toys. They changed the radar dish. Whoopee. But to all intents and purposes, we got the Falcon. But we didn't need to see yet more X-Wings and yet more TIE fighters. I would have liked to have seen a proper evolution, not just sort of like something that looks exactly the same but slightly bigger. A completely different vehicle. Um, and the same with the Star Destroyers, really. Everything was very much sort of like, okay, well, we had these before, let's have them again. I don't think so. We're not driving around in Morris Marinas, are we? So
No, that's very true.
yeah,
So basically, what we're saying with, I think, in summary, is The Force Awakens, as an individual film, stands up well 10 years on.
yeah,
It has its flaws,
yeah,
things that we would change,
yeah.
but it's been let down by the rest of its trilogy.
Oh, massively,
Yeah. We'll go with that
massively.
as today's decision on Jabba's court, I think. And of course, Jabba's court is part of Good Morning Tatooine, live streaming every Sunday 9 p.m. in the UK, 4 p.m. New York, and released every Wednesday. Honestly, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Never without a fail. Uh, they're all up there, up on Fat Tracks TV. Go check them out. And we'll be back next week with another discussion point, guys.